So we're gonna see Flower here. This
Yes.
is Mitch Dyer, everybody.
Hey,
He's Canadian. Don't hold it against him.
it's a great character trait, Damon.
This was already out on PS3.
Yeah, so this came out on PS3 in 2009, and now this is a lovely remake.
It's so good.
It's look at that grass.
Very pretty,
Colin.
very pretty.
Very pretty.
So all we're doing right now is controlling this pedal. If you don't know anything about Flower, you kind of control the wind, and you control this pedal, and you just press any button you want to accelerate, and then you just use the DualShock to move around, and you kind of just discover things on your own. And this is the first level we're seeing now. So you see flowers, and they're glowing, and you go to them, and you touch them, and oh, you get a pedal, and you can see your trail is growing. Where is it going to take us, Damon? It's a mystery.
Who knows?
Somewhere cerebral.
Yeah.
Does this look significantly better than it did on the PS3?
I think so, yeah. I went back and played PS3. We captured some of that and put it in the video review, and it's definitely sharper looking. Like at 1080p, it does have a noticeable difference than PS3. I believe it was at best 720 in terms of resolution, but it's 1080p. It is 60 frames per second. It is really, really pretty. I think it has a lot of improved physics. Just in the way the grass moves and stuff like that. It's such a small detail, right? But the way the grass moves, the blades seem to move more individually than they used to, which was kind of in groups. And you'll see some stuff later in this level where giant shockwaves will send just lots of particles into the air and stuff like that.
This game's pretty stunning.
Yeah.
I always love this game.
Yeah, me too. I play it about once a year. Just, man, it is
idea.
like one of my favorite experiences ever. I love it.
It also came out on Vita yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I think it did. Yeah, I think it
Yesterday
did.
or
So, it's you also be able to put it on Vita. And we've been waiting a while for that one, but
yeah, and if you have it on PS3 already, like if I bought it on PlayStation 3 in 2009, you just get this on PS4 and Vita for free. Like you can just download it now.
yeah, it's very cool. Very cool service for the fans, and I think it has its own trophy list, which is cool for the people that want the trophies
Yeah.
or whatever. And this game has some interesting trophies, such as letting the game just stand still, right?
Really?
And one for coming back a week later or something like that.
Yeah.
And what I noticed when I played it was, I wasn't as much as I loved Flower on PlayStation 3 back in the day. I don't like 6-axis controls, and I was a little disappointed in them in this game, and that you have to use them. But this seems to control much better.
I totally agree. Yeah, the DualShock 4 motion controller is significantly better than DualShock 3. I mean, it's better in every way than DualShock 3, but the motion is just so much more precise. Like you can just make very small movements to like hang sharp 180s like that, right? Like you couldn't really do that with DualShock.
Yeah, it was almost a
3.
game you had to tolerate on Flower because you wanted to play it so bad because it looked so good.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
this
it was
actually-
amazing, but the motion controls, you were really turning your controller all the way, whereas now you're jolting all over the place. It's super easy to make crazy movements.
Is there any rhyme or reason to the order that you collect the pedals in?
No, and that's the whole point of this, is you kind of do things of your own accord. You go everywhere you want, or you go wherever you want to, you collect as much as you want to, and there are minimal objectives, like we're reviving these pieces of dead grass so that we can reveal a new path, but there are secondary things in the level, like there are secrets you can find, and there are flowers that are just spread around that all they do is add to your trail. They're not essential to the story. Which there is kind of a story. I don't like people kind of question me on that whenever I talk about Flower's story, but I think it does have like a really interesting message.
I think even the way the game starts, like the start screen and stuff, I think is very indicative of
Absolutely,
what
yeah.
the game's trying to tell you or talk about.
And it all kind of ties, especially when you replay it, right? Like you go back and you see the city streets and all those like the mid-game loading screens and stuff like that. You see the way it's trying to talk about man and machine and the way people work. Like, whether humans and nature can live in happy coexistence. Look at that, we're making a difference, Colin.
I know, we
doing
certainly
great
are.
things for the world.
We certainly are.
Yeah. So now we're just carving a path here, right? Like you bring parts of the world back to life and it guides you to the next part of the level where you can make even more pleasant things happen.
And still on DualShock 4, you can hold down any button to move, right?
Yeah, I
That's
just use
use
X,
X,
but you
yeah,
can,
that's
if you want to, I wonder if you can use no, you can't use this thing. Oh, look at that. I just pressed the touchpad and it gives you different camera angles here. I didn't know that.
Cool.
Look at that. Fancy. PlayStation 4, Colin.
next gen.
That's some next gen stuff right there.
Cool, yeah, I use X as well, but you use whatever's comfortable for you, I guess.
This is just a strangely serene game. It's like a weird game to demo and play because it's like you kind of just want to sit there and let people. Like it's almost a weird game. Like I almost don't want to show it to people. It's like no, just play it and experience it.
You should
'cause
definitely play it.
It's something you do have to experience on your own terms.
Remember, viewers, tweet your questions, comments at IGN with hashtag PS4. Adrian Cole asks, having never played Flower before, is it worth buying for PS4?
Yep.
And is it cross-buy for all versions?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it is.
So that
Even
is
that Vita one that came out
retroactive, right?
yesterday?
Yep. Yeah, so like there's 4 of these games in this group, right? Like Flower, Flow, Sound Shapes, and Escape Plan. And if you own like Escape Plan's on Vita, if you own it on Vita, you get it on PS4 for free. If you buy it on PS4 for the first time, you get it on Vita. So it goes, Sound Shapes is already on PS3 and Vita. If you own it for Vita, you already own it for PS3, and you will therefore own it for PS4.
This is a conversation that keeps coming up more and more lately, I find. But people are increasingly concerned with like price in terms of what you get and how long a game is. Like we saw people talking about that with Bioshock this week. Flower is a game that is an hour and a half tops. Like, where do you guys stand with stuff like that? Do you mind paying $5, $10, $15 for a short game?
No, but I think that's like as you get older, you'd have less time for gaming. You're just not as concerned with like, is this gonna last me 100 hours? I would never be able to finish that game.
I think, and I'm like, I would rather play Flower 50 times than play an RPG.
Yeah, I think
I like RPGs.
Yeah, like I think it's like what you're. I think Damon hit it on its head. I think it's like what you're looking for. I think I don't want not any game that's $10 and is an hour and a half long is going to be worth buying. I think Flower is an example of a game that is. And I think it's worth more than what it costs because it's like Journey, like Journey was $15 when it came out. You can beat that game very quickly, but that game's so emotional and so interesting and so different that it's worth the price. It's worth it.
That game company who made Flower and Journey is a company that's really smart about that, right? Like in terms of giving you something that is at face value interesting and pretty and just kind of like, oh, it's like this is a place I'm exploring and that's kind of fun. But it also gives you something to think about. Its games have messages and they're more thoughtful than most games. Like, tell me the last time you thought serious about something Call of Duty had to say, like philosophically.
No, for sure. And it's because even though a game like Call of Duty might be trying to tell you something, it's like in this very generic war-torn situation or terrorists and fighting armies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think just the setting of Flower, the fact that you're the wind, you're like, and the flower petals is awesome. Yeah. There's nothing like it. And that's like what's so special about it. There's nothing like this.
Yeah. And that was I tried to say that in my review, and I thought, oh no, you know what's a lot like Flower? It's Flower. You can't say that. But yeah, it's like just Flower as an entity is so amazing, and because there, like you're saying, right? There's nothing you can compare this to.
No, and they that game company does it over and over again, and whether you're playing as little sea entities or you're playing as a wandering, journeying something that's trying to make you all cry and sad.
I think we can say objectively that Flow is the best amoeba simulator of all time.
For sure. Absolutely.
Mitch, Barker J needs some clarification.
Yeah, hit me.
What is the main purpose of Flower?
See, and that's one of those things. I had long conversations about this game with our reviews editor, Dan Stapleton, and some people in the office who were like, I'm not sure what this game is. And it is something you kind of get. You don't really get out of it what you put into it, but you do have to kind of bring a little something of yourself to figure out what you want out of it, because it's kind of literary. You do have to kind of interpret some stuff, and you do take away from it based on kind of what you know about nature and what you think about different philosophies, because it's a thoughtful game, and you could totally not get anything out of it in that way, just because you're like, oh, I'm just floating around, flying, reviving the world. And I think if you don't care about anything like meaning and substance of bringing the world back to life and what it means, you could just mess around and fly, and it's pretty and it's cool, and you're having an effect on this world by, you're floating around as the wind, and you're bringing the world back to life, and that's pretty cool. Just seeing the effect and the change, both in terms of you as a character. Oh boy, sorry, I'm just trying to get this last one. Yeah, just this stuff here, like moments like this, bringing the world back to life. This place was black and white, and look at it now. Like the blades of grass are kind of glowing, and they have different features. That kind of visual feedback is really interesting to me.
Absolutely.
But I don't really know. Like, is that the point of Flower?
I don't know. I don't think everything has to have a point. I don't think like you go into a game like Killzone, and the point is to shoot and kill.
Yep. Like, you don't have to say, what does Killzone mean, man?
Yeah, like I don't know.
It's in the name.
Yeah, it's very literal.
It literally means death place.
But with a game like Flower, like I think you're right. I think there's something deeper there. There's something that different people. It's very much like Journey in the sense that people are going to get different things out of it, different feelings.
I mean, I talked about this in my review. Parts of this game, I feel like it deals you're playing as wind floating around some flower petals, and this game has a lot of stuff to say about life and death and destruction and mankind's interaction with nature. But you could see stuff that I didn't. You might not see that at all. You might think I'm a crazy person.
I do.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm enamored with this game. So.
Yeah. This is like my 5th time playing this level this week. I love it. Oh boy. I'm not doing a great job of demoing these controls being very good.
Sorry, it's hard to talk and think and do all these kinds of things at the same time when you're not playing on camera.
All this pressure. I can't take it, Colin.
No, gotta get out of here.
There's also like a lot of really interesting hidden stuff in this game that is totally optional. That you can, if you just want to mess around and get more out of the, I guess, the experience in the moment, there are moments where you can activate a flower that lets you paint the grass a certain color. And you can just mess around and say, oh, I want this to look more blue, and I want this to look more pink. And you can just do that.
Right.
You can find secret flowers hidden near things that, like there's a abandoned wagon in a later level where you activate a flower near that and it lights up and you get a trophy and some stuff happens that, it's all super cosmetic stuff. It's not significant to your progress or anything, but it's just cool.
Right.
And this game has a lot of stuff like that.
Cloth108 asks, is there exclusive content to the PS4 version of Flower?
You got that exclusive, way better to play on DualShock 4, but that's kind of it. It's not so much content in terms of, like, there's no more levels or anything, but it's just in terms of functionality, it looks better, it plays better. I don't know if it sounds better, because I didn't try it out with, like, super fancy headphones or anything, or a great sound system, but, I mean, that game company's sound design is incredible, and the music and atmosphere in Flower is great.
I think when you unlocked a trophy, the controller made a little ding.
Did it?
Did I make that up?
I don't know. I didn't hear that on this game. I don't think it does that normally, but maybe certain games can do that, or maybe you can set the settings to do that, which is cool. Because everyone likes that ding.
Oh yeah.
Gotta tell you though, not a fan of this speaker.
No.
No.
I like it for. We were talking about. I like it in Killzone with the audio. With the audio
the
log.
worst thing.
Why?
Killzone.
You like?
It's so obnoxious. So I found the thing that broke me is I found an audio log of a woman who was burning alive while we're playing this happy, serene game. Let's talk about that. And it's just like it's coming through the speaker, and she's like. And it's like 3 minutes. It's unskippable. It was horrifying.
Okay. That's a little bit.
And it's like the crappiest sound quality of this woman dying. You're like, all right, cool. Thanks, game.
No, I dug finding the audio logs and then like listening to them as you're like. It makes you feel like you're really holding the audio log in the game and like walking around. Still.
I guess I wasn't super big. I wasn't a fan of that on the Wii either. But to each his own, Colin. Mm-hmm. Different strokes.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So now I'm blue because that's the like the blue paint pit, I guess.
Paint bit.
Yep. And every time I go back and touch that, I can activate the blue, and I'll start activating these other ones that let me paint different colors. But right now, I'm gonna carve a path here. I'm all swanky and blue. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. Like this game is like kind of nonsense in that way. You just kind of are, you're the wind, and you're gonna paint the grass neon blue with your space magic.
Cool.
Lars Brewerse asks,
You tried.
Do you think a lot of games are going to be ported like Flower?
I hope so. I would love to see Journey on PS4. I would love to see that game look like just slightly better. Not that it looks anything other than beautiful, but I don't know, man. Like the 1080p 60 frames per second really, really makes this look good. Everything just is so smooth and crisp looking. I don't know. Something about it.
Yeah, I think we can expect to see more, especially more as Sony-owned PSN indie games on here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Unfinished Swan or something like that come over. And I think it's
1080p white.
Yeah, I love that game.
Game is great.
And there's it's kind of a necessity because you can't play because of the nature of the cell processor and other reasons. I'm sure commercial reasons. You can't play your old PlayStation Network games from PS3 on PS4. So to make them available to PS4 consumers, they're going to have to do something like this, But it would be fine, and that's totally fine. Like a lot of people are complaining, like, look at all these ports, but I think it's fine because you're not paying for them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the big deal? That doesn't hurt you. It actually helps you if you already own the game.
Yep.
Now, Colin, Paul Byers asks, will Dead Nation be remade for
Oh
PS4?
my God, I wish. We're still waiting for the Vita iteration. When we did the Resogun live stream, we asked our friend Michael at Housemark about that, and he didn't have much to say about it yet. But I want it on Vita. So, and it's coming soon, hopefully. They announced it at Gamescom. And then I suspect because of the video they released some time ago about Resogun, they indicated that they're going to do a sequel. And I wonder, we don't know that for sure, but that's definitely what they indicated.
There are a lot of PSN games I hope get ported up, like Pixel Junk Monsters.
Oh man, just every Pixel Junk game.
Right? I would love Horde.
Eden
Remember
Shooter.
Horde?
I loved Horde.
I do too.
Yeah,
Man.
that was a
great.
very underrated, underplayed game.
I never got to that one.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a cool game.
Yeah.
There was something about that game for sure.
Super fun.
Shatter.
Let's see here. All right, Mitch, thanks for showing us Flower today.
Yeah, no
on
sweat.
PS4. We're going to take a quick break again, but first, let's give away another one of our
Oh, snap.
copies of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag provided by Ubisoft here. This is going to go to Austin Park, who asks, how long does it take to platinum Flower?
Oof.
There is no platinum in Flower.
So
0 seconds.
Zero hours.
seconds.
Or
Oh.
eternity seconds. Just for every second of your life.
I assume there will be a platinum trophy here in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
So have fun getting that, Austin Park. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to play, what are we playing next?
Contrast,
We're playing
I think,
Contrast next.
Excellent.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.